Owen Wilson is here. For the past decade, his offbeat performances have established him as a favorite among audiences and critics. His latest comedy is Wedding Crashers, and here's a look at the film.
It's a sterling silver fondue set. John Ryan.
Claire Cleary. So how do you know that?
Well, I'm a psychic.
You're psychic.
I am.
Really?
Yes.
What's that one?
Knife set. German, very nice.
And that?
Cotton linens, Egyptian.
Ooh. What about that?
Oh, I'll go all day. Place settings, candlesticks, crystal stemware, which they'll probably never use because it's crystal stemware.
Okay, how about that?
This? Massage oils and a book on Tantra, right from Wacky Ant.
Check.
Who's it from?
Aunt Millie. Yes. Well, you have a gift.
I know. Unfortunately, my powers only apply to useless consumer products.
Well, you know, if the police are missing a Belgian waffle maker, you could give them a hand.
I am pleased to have Owen Wilson at this table for the first time. Welcome.
Thanks very much for having me.
Great. We're sitting here talking about Dallas and dogs and everything before we started.
Professional voice.
Exactly. This is sort of a combination of two things, isn't it? Wedding Crashers, one, a buddy film, and a romantic comedy.
Yeah, it kind of begins with Vince and I are kind of crashing weddings to pick up girls.
This be Vince Vaughn.
Yes, Vince Vaughn. And my character is wondering if if it's getting, maybe a little sleazy. We're in our mid-30s, a little pathetic. Yeah. And Vince assures me that it isn't and encourages me to crash this one kind of, the Super Bowl of weddings.
Of the year.
Wedding of the year. And that is Christopher Walken, who's the Secretary of Treasury, one of his daughters. And I end up going to that and falling for Rachel McAdams. And so that's where we kind of get into more of the romantic part of the movie.
Yeah, and she has a boyfriend.
She's got a boyfriend who's a really funny actor played by Bradley Cooper, who's really good at coming up with stuff and being kind of an easy guy not to like.
Now, the thing that's interesting about this is I never heard of Wedding Crashers. Do people do this?
I think that the producer actually said that he did it with friends in college and stuff, and I never actually crashed a wedding, but I did kind of
always beneath you or above you. You might have done it, but just never gotten around.
And I also think that, I do kind of subscribe to that, or that for some reason girls are more open at weddings to kind of...
That's the central idea for these guys.
Yes, yeah, but I think it's true.
They're more open and willing and ready.
Yeah, more agreeable.
More agreeable to be open and willing.
Well, I think that one of the things you run up against, in a bar and stuff, is oh, who's this stranger coming up? You're kind of a threat. And at a wedding, it's you're kind of oh, okay, he must be okay. He must have been, past the vetting.
But it has actually kind of a nice ending, too.
Yeah, it was actually, we kind of worked on the script because I didn't feel comfortable with some of the romantic stuff. I didn't want to kind of come across as, sappy or corny, and so we worked on the ending a little bit to kind of come up with a way where hopefully it's not too kind of, lovey-dovey, but still kind of a romantic.
You have a reputation.
Yeah.
For kind of working on the script.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you were a writer. You and Wes used to write stuff together.
Yeah, and I was, I started as a writer. I was an English major, although I didn't graduate. I think that I've been lucky that maybe because I started as a writer that directors and people have usually been open to kind of hearing my ideas, and certainly on Wedding Crashers, it was nice to kind of meet with the director and the writers and kind of change stuff around. And it was also great working with Vince because it was fun to kind of brainstorm.
Because he knows how to write as well.
He's just really funny and really, for me, I think he's just one of the funniest guys out there, just has such a kind of unique persona. And he really just, can just kind of riff on these kind of stream of conscious stuff that's really...
And you're seeing that...
Yeah, or then I'm just trying to, more often it's in the scene, and I'm just trying to kind of, because he can fast talk you. Yeah. So you're just trying to kind of keep up and, get a word in edgewise.
You also do, I don't know this for a fact, but I've read this.
Yeah.
You also will change the nature of your character because you have some idea as to of your own persona.
Yeah, maybe it's from not having, you know, a background as an or, you know, training as like a real actor, or what I think of as a real actor. So I try to kind of fit it to something like, oh, I know I can do this.
What's the difference between you and a real actor?
A real actor for me is somebody like who really changes like his voice.
A chameleon and who can do anything.
Yeah, like Al Pacino,
yeah, sure.
and you know, even like Edward Norton, like will do kind of like
or Chris Walken, who's in this film.
Yeah, Christopher Walken can, although there's always sort of a Christopher Walken kind of essence.
An edge, that is.
Yeah, that you can kind of recognize. And although Gene Hackman's one of my favorite actors, and I don't think of him as changing that much, his look and his voice, although he kind of has a southern voice, he does too. But yeah, to me those are Johnny Depp that's kind of like, to me, Sean Penn, those are like real actors, and then I can kind of like skate by with making stuff sound halfway believable.
When you say that, do you wish you were them?
Well, it's funny because people will say, do you wish that, you know, gosh, you know, and I think my mother sometimes also like wants me to do like a, you know, a real like dramatic kind of part that she can really be proud of. And, you know.
Well, what about the one you did with Gene Hackman? I mean, that was a dramatic part.
She really likes that. She has that poster up at the house, like other, like some of the comedies, you know. There's no Anaconda poster up at the house, but the Behind Enemy Lines poster is front and center.
Yeah, right.
2 of them.
My son, the dramatic actor.
Yeah, and I think it's just that, I don't know, I think the problem is I don't know what causes that, but
See, here's what you don't know about you. They also say, people who write about you and who know you and who work with you, say you take these acting roles very seriously. And they say it's really hard to be perceived as funny and sort of casual.
Yeah.
So what you have to do to maintain your persona is damn difficult.
Well, it is kind of, it really isn't that difficult, though. I know that, you know, I'd like to say that it is that hard, but I consider writing a lot harder, like going
than acting.
I think so. Acting's kind of fun. You kind of show up on a set, and you kind of, you know, crack jokes with people.
Yeah, but I mean, going before that, you studied the script and you decided.
I say the script. I definitely work on the script and the story and the lines, but I consider that kind of more writing. The acting stuff, I'm not, you know, to get back to Behind Enemy Lines, the dramatic thing, I did go to a naval base, but I don't know how much I really got from that.
That was the extent of your preparation. You drove through Pensacola or somewhere.
But it's funny though, like I love that movie, The Insider, and I thought Russell Crowe was great, but I don't think that I necessarily would have been good in that role.
Roll tape. Let's take a look at this clip. Touch football.
Blue 17! Blue 17!
Oh, you're going to cover me.
Like white on right.
All right, I like my odds here. I'm going to give you a little warning. I'm going downtown.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7!
Look for me in the end zone after this play. I'll be the guy holding the ball.
John!
What?
Red 7!
I don't know what red 7 means.
Hot route!
I don't. What is hot route?
Will you just go stand on the other side, please?
Are you running away from me?
No, I'm just getting over here.
Down! Ready! Down! Set! Hut! 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 Hut!
Go, Jeremy!
Here we go! Hit me! Hit me! Booyah! That's what we call a sack lunch! Nom 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 nom!
Ow!
Big tree fall hard, right?
How many fingers I got up? Come on, Pepe, how many fingers I got up? Oh, come on, I got 4. I go, here's 5.
Let me talk about some other people here. You and Wes Anderson, that's a long-time friendship.
Yeah, Wes and I met in Austin in college, and that's where we began writing Bottle Rocket, the first movie that we ever did.
Scorsese says is one of the 10 favorite films of the 90s.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying, because I always like to say that, because it had such a hard, you know, the movie tested so bad, and Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs down.
Oh no, it shows you what they know.
Didn't get into Sundance, and so I always like to finish with that thing about Scorsese, because that.
Why did he like it so much?
I don't know. He wrote something about, I think he really likes Wes as a director.
Yeah.
There was an article in Esquire where they were talking about the next Scorsese, and there were all these different little kind of essays by different directors, and the final one was by Scorsese, and he chose Wes, so that was pretty good.
Bill Murray must love him too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's a very easy guy to like because of all the directors I've worked with.